So Literacy Act project is about language learning using theatre techniques. 6 partners from 5 different partner countries. Of course, one of the 6 partners is Sweden. We also have 2 from Italy, 1 from Berlin, Germany, 1 from Brussels, Belgium, and 1 from Cyprus.
For the first spectatorship we went to watch a film called Utvandrarna, which in Swedish means emigrants. The film is about a small family that decides to move to the US due to poor conditions in the country they're coming from, which is old Sweden. This film in particular is a remake of an old movie that nominee for 2 Oscars in 2 different years. That film was considered one of the masterpieces in Swedish filmography. So yeah, the story is about a small family that goes to live to the USA, and they go through the big trip. They're immigrants and they try to start a new life in the new world, in the United States. They face many challenges. I think the film is really relevant to the situation nowadays. We see a lot of emigration from different countries, and it can be really relevant also to the project. Just general brainstorming ideas or whatever comes to your mind. I really like that. I didn't like that. It's a film called I don't know how to pronounce this name.
Which one?
Yes, and it means emigrants, and it's directed by Eric Popp, and it will be half in English, half in Swedish.
I haven't read the book, but I've heard about
Okay,
it. And
yeah.
there's others that are set around the same things. Even when you go to SFB, they teach you some short stories about the whole migration from Sweden to the US and how, people left behind their loves and their this and that.
Okay, there's also a sequel about this film. There has been the
when it's happening this
18 something.
1840, 50.
Yeah.
Around
There was
that
no
time.
war.
I think economical reason.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because
Sweden was poor.
Yeah.
But in the last thing they had like the last letter to Sweden, their last letter to Sweden, to their homeland, because it said then sista brevet till Sverige. So then it's the last letter to Sweden. So this,
They are
I think
living
they're like
they know that
telling their story through this letter to their other family in Sweden.
Okay.
You see people from France living?
Yeah, leave another country.
French people leaving to go abroad.
Yeah. I don't mean that the people are coming. There is people. Definitely
They are
people coming to
France.
Yes, I think France is one of the country where people
leave to France.
Yes.
I think also Italy in the southern
In Italy too.
regions.
Where they go in Italy generally?
They go to the northern countries, Germany.
Why, like Eritrea, is a country that send a lot of refugees to you, also Sweden and other thing. The here, for example, is the dictatorship. So if you are a military, if you are young, and if you young boy, so you will be taken to military, and you are always military. It's not just like obligatory for 6 months or something. It's whole life. So then they refuse this pressure. So they go as a refugee in other countries. So there are the different way. In Afghanistan, it's the conflict between religious or power of the government, who will keep the government. So then it creates more people to move.
To see how they'll be accepted by the people living in America.
Exactly. To see actually, yeah, at that time, like when you compare how is it now in the Trump time, and then how was it at that time, to see like how they are welcoming.
Because America.
A lot of immigrants, not just from Sweden. There was Italy, there was Spain, there was
all the
all of Europe was moving to the US and to
Mm.
50 million Europeans.
50 million.
Yeah, between 1850 and 1950
Mm.
in general, and that's a big number.
At that
Considering
time, yeah.
that now we're 450
Mm.
in the union, so
And the biggest movement was by the Irish.
Yeah.
yeah,
The Irish had the biggest immigration.
Mm.
Yeah, for the-
immigration movement.
for the potato famine. Yeah, it says
So how long this film?
2
it's
hours and a half.
2 hours now.
Is it for real?
Yeah, it's for real.
It's not immigrant film, it's a real film.
Yeah.
Real actors are playing.
Okay, nice. We're gonna learn
But-
Swedish.
As I said, they said that the first one was really, really good. It was nominated to 2 Oscars.
Which is first?
This is a remake of an old movie made in the 70s.
Normally they did it in 70s and then they did it.
They did a remake, yeah.
But
It's
first I need,
yeah.
I need to have Netflix.
It's
Somebody should
no,
give
no.
me
It's
the-
always after the 1980s, 1850, sorry. And it's the same family and how they settle inside the same country in
Okay.
the same place.
So this is a follow-up. Okay.
It's the follow-up, yeah. It's a sequel.
Does it state where
They made it a
in
bit shorter.
the US they settled?
Next
In
one.
I think it was better than my expectations because I'm always very worried about movies set back in the day. I find them a little boring and, but it wasn't, and it was very interesting. And I was also worried about the language level. Even though I speak and understand Swedish, I was worried that, the olden day Swedish would be more complicated and that I wouldn't understand. But I understood most of it. The Swedish language level was very easy. They didn't use very complicated words, and you could get a good grasp of what the film was about, even not understanding the language.
Yes, I like film, and of course, because nowadays we just see the modern Sweden, but it was good to see about like 200 years ago how Swedish people was living. So it was a really nice movie. The best part of movie for me, it was that when they arrived safely in USA.
I mean, normally I'm not so often going to cinema to watch Swedish-based or cultural films that is explaining Swedish background. Even though I have lived here almost 13 years, so therefore it was actually a unique experience to see that how Swedish people has been lived in a historical moment and the family situations and how they economically try to exist in Europe. It was therefore in that perspective it was very good to see, and it actually meet my expectations because it was difficult to understand some part because even if I'm fully capable to understand Swedish, but some words was difficult to understand. But from the context, that was easy to understand and follow the film. And also I see some similarities when I moved from Turkey to Sweden. So it's like you have the similar stories, difficulties and nice moments, and what you leave behind and what you see in front of you again. So it was a good experience.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting film, as it was talking about Swedes migrating from Sweden to the US. So it was interesting, and then I also realized that actually I knew the story, but I didn't know so much. And the actors and actresses in the movie, they made the movie like so emotional, and I felt like it was so real. Yeah, so in a nutshell, I think I liked it, yeah.
Yeah, about the music, when I saw, like when it was stress or something didn't go very well or something was wrong, the music was louder, so you understood that something is not going well. So I just noted this one.
I mean, in the film is as what I can see is like the whole story is going from the Swedish side, difficult times, into a new place, getting surprises, and also maybe the losing people, and at the same time accomplish, even if some cultural discriminations and pressures on the society. So the music has been really conveying the feelings with the beat, with the not overtaking so much what's going on there, but at the end it supported this difficult time. So it was up and down all the time. So therefore I can say actually the music was not taking over so much what was telling the film, but at the same time it supported quite well to send me the message of this difficult time or the good times in the film.
So I think, you know, personally it represents, you know, a little part of their homeland. So it represents their roots. And, you know, as the tree, when they plant the tree, you know, as it grows, it represents them growing in a new society. So I think that's why that tree was so important in the film. It had a lot of representation, you know, roots, growth, and all the things that plants represent, you know, memories. And I think because the grandmother had given them the tree as well, it represents family.
Okay, I think the tree represents life for me. Like, it just represents the phases we go through in lives. And as an immigrant, immigrating from your own country to a different country, there are so many processes you have to go through. There are so many phases you're going to have in your current country. And I feel like the tree was just like, yeah, there'll be ups and downs, but whatever the case is, you're going to fall, you have to rise up. If you fall 10 times, you have to rise up like 20 times, something like that. I don't know. Personally, that's what I think. Yeah.
I think as we saw in the movie, and nowadays it's totally different. So maybe in the future it was not really like people move it from one country a lot to other countries, but nowadays it's like you move everywhere like immigrant and refugee. I saw a lot in Sweden. I as a refugee also in Sweden, I never saw this kind of thing, so I don't think that it's the same. It's totally different for me.
I mean, it is a bit power situation. Like the people who are living in a countries in the power situations with their citizenship. Like if I live in Turkey with my Turkish citizenship, I am in the power position. I can manage the language, I can manage how the contexts work, I can manage the system, and I have a support system around me. But whenever you move another place, you become a fragile, you become a minority. Therefore, like what I see in this film, what is the conception of the Swedish people in Europe now is that they are in the power position. Like, but whenever you start to move in other countries like America at that time in history, it makes them the fragile. It makes them not the second citizenship, but it is like they are not anymore in a power position, but they could be face any discrimination in a new country is America at that time in history. Of course, the new opportunity is also possible. But however, it is actually quite good to see and also like give a message to Swedish people, local Swedish people now, how they were in that position in a history, and now how immigrants are coming to their countries. So it can actually create an understanding. This understanding can create a good atmosphere, welcoming atmosphere for the new arrivals. Because what I see, like the people travel because of the different reasons, economical reasons, or maybe not safety, or maybe family connection. But at the end, everybody has like a reason to move. And when you make this movement from A to B, you are always becoming fragile and you always face difficulties. And having a host who is welcoming to newcomer is always a win-win situation. What I see, like, I mean, we host immigrants or we become an immigrant at the end. We are in the same ship, so I mean, we will live in the same world. So in this case, if it's a good welcoming, and it will be a better, motivation to be integrated in this society, will create a win-win situation for both hosting and newcomer. So therefore, I think the film creates a good message for the Swedish people to make them aware what was it before, and they shouldn't forget their history.